Wife support. Wife support. Welcome to Wife Support.
Hi, I'm Kaycee, and I'm a comic, wife, mother to a fluffy dog, and favorite of the fluffy dog.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm Amanda Conlee, nonprofit exec, wife, and servant to this ungrateful fluffy dog.
And this is Wife Support, a podcast about queer marriage, grown-up gay life, and all the messy, magical stuff in between. We're so glad you're here. Be sure to follow me on Instagram for polls, clips, and exclusive podcast content. I'm at Kaycee Conlee. Why are you laughing at that?
Exclusive content.
Well, it is exclusive.
Okay.
You disagree?
Sure.
Okay. I'm at Kaycee Conlee, Kayceeconlee. And yeah, give me a follow. I'm going to post all the podcast stuff. Amanda might reshare it.
Yeah. You can follow me if you want, but it's not that exciting. It's just hiking photos.
You're so sweet. She's so humble and cute. It's good. It's good content. It's
Sure.
hiking photos and cooking content.
It's wholesome content.
Oh, it is wholesome. Mm-hmm. You're right about that. Okay. And we're recording this live from our house. We're still playing with the setup, so you might be able to see if you're watching that it's a little different this time. I'm the technician, so the technical director, the director. You were very patient with me while I set everything up, even though I could tell you wanted to.
I probably should have just gotten up and gone and done something else.
Yeah.
We know patience is not my virtue.
We both, I think, suffer from that, but you were very patient with me today, so thank you. And we're in our kitchen. We're in our dining room this time, and I wouldn't say hungover, but
Oh, you tied one on last night.
as far as 39-year-olds can tie one on, I did at least
3 margaritas,
I thought it was more than 3.
No, you had 3.
Did you count me?
No, you told me when we got in the car that you had 3.
But the problem is I got into that thing where you start refilling before it's empty.
Oh, you JD Conlee'd you. So my dad has this thing where he'll make a Long Island iced tea mostly, but does it with everything, where he'll make a picture of it and then he'll come and he'll just keep everybody full. And so,
which, by the way, great host.
Lovely. But come the end, when you go to stand up, you're like, oh no.
All of a sudden,
How much have I had? Because it never got empty and you never had to get up to refill it, and so you've just sort of lost track of time.
Yeah, I have been JD Conlee'd in that manner.
Yes.
And I'm afraid I JD Conlee'd myself last night. There was a pitcher of margaritas at this party, and so I would get a little low and I would go freshen. But then I think I only did that once or twice, and then I realized that if I drink it all the way down, then I could restart the cup with, they had the thing where you could put the tahini on the rim.
Oh.
It was a really nice margarita station.
I wouldn't know. I don't drink tequila.
I know you don't dabble, but it was good. And I did want to give myself a pat on the back for not taking the shot.
Yeah, gross. Who takes tequila shots now?
Well, people do, and I was like, I think I'm too old for that.
Fair.
It's easy to get caught up in it when you're having a good time with friends, but
I would also like to say that even though we're talking about this, we were very responsible. I DD'd.
Yes.
And it was very fun.
DD'd, drove home.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what my favorite part of this party is just how gay it was.
It was very gay.
If they told everybody to show up in basketball clothes or athleisure.
Okay, yeah. Well, first of all, you should say it was a 40th birthday for one of our friends. It was a friend of mine that I met through basketball that has become our friends. Her and her wife, we go out to dinner a lot. We have a little supper club, if you will, to borrow from some friends. It's like a little dining club, but they're our friends, and so because they're basketball friends, they're athletes.
Sure, okay, but the whole group knows each other because you all play in a gay basketball league.
It's not gay.
Okay.
There's one that's not.
It's literally, isn't it called Lambda?
Yeah, does that mean gay?
Oh, honey.
Wait, does lambda mean gay? Are you serious right now?
It's, okay, anyway.
No, explain what lambda means.
To me, it was very much Lambda, LGBTQ.
Oh, the lambda is the Greek letter L,
yeah.
And that's the first of L.
Yeah.
So that's where but lambda on its own.
I don't know. When you told me the name of the league, I was like, it's a gay basketball league.
Well, you just thought that because it was basketball.
No. You play in a Sunday league that's not a gay league.
Okay, I'm Googling this right now. Does lambda mean gay? Oh my God.
Thank you.
The lowercase Greek letter lambda has been adopted as a symbol of gay liberation.
Thank you.
And the broader LGBTQ plus rights movement. Oh my gosh.
That's why every time you're like, oh no, this person on my team is straight, I'm like, say what now? How'd you end up on this team?
This has been true since the 1970, and the symbol is used to represent unity, diversity, inclusivity.
You're a bad gay.
What is wrong with me?
Wow.
Lambda is the first letter of the Greek word liberation, and that's where, oh my gosh.
Did your mind just explode?
Well, I just feel dumb. I just feel like, how did I miss this?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right then. In the name of it, you're right. I mean, I knew it was like kind of gay, but I also know they let in allies or whatever. So I was like, well, they'll take anybody's money.
That's fair. Okay, anyway, let's back to the point.
Okay.
It is, these people through a gay basketball league. That's the point. And
there were a couple straights there.
So I already knew it was going to, it's a group of mostly gay women. However, there was a trivia that our friends whose birthday it was, her wife planned that was like specifically for the birthday human. And
it was fun, by the way.
It was really fun. But one of the segments of the trivia is of these WNBA players who's straight or gay.
Right, and they literally, it was like a PowerPoint she had put together, which, I mean, kudos, by the way. Really nice job.
Great.
We should give her a shout out for that. But, so the slide would come on, it was a picture of a WNBA player, and then you decide gay or straight. And the funniest part was that, so we're all basketball fans, gay or straight, in this party. And it is mostly gay, but there was a couple straights. But everybody knows WNBA players.
Yes.
And I feel like there was one or two that came up and you're like, okay, first of all, who is that?
Yeah.
Before I decide gay or straight.
Well, because like one was like a rookie who never really played because she got hurt in training camp.
Yeah,
and
okay.
like, who the heck's that?
But you, knowing that a little bit is a tell.
I know
you
that
you're-
because your friend who is like a walking encyclopedia of women's basketball told me that.
That's Christiana, and you're absolutely right. She gets into like the nitty gritty of like the collective bargaining agreement that they're going in right now, and like the pay structure and what draft ratings and ranks and all that.
Encyclopedia.
Yes, she's deep in the weeds.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah. So we played this trivia game. There were, as you said on the invite, dress comfy, so everyone's in like jerseys and like sweatpants and stuff. And then there are games set out. So there was like Pop-A-Shot basically, ping pong. It was like a basketball hoop. Was at the end of the night we played knockout to decide who had to take shots.
Again, gayest party I've ever been to.
By the way, as far as like the JD Conlee of it all, when I went to go play knockout is when I realized how drunk I was.
Well, also you had been sitting for like probably an hour and a half during
playing
this trivia
trivia.
game, and
Yep.
somebody I think brought you a drink
Yes.
too.
Very good
so
hosts.
you never got up.
Nope. And then when we went to play basketball, I was like, whoa. And it was dark, but I was also, ooh, I'm drunk.
Yeah. Well, everybody was drunk.
Yeah.
A bunch of drunk 30-ish women playing knockout in the dark. Hilarious.
Yeah, it was
was
pretty
fun
good.
to be a
I wonder if
spectator.
anyone got a video of that.
It was fun to be a sober spectator watching this escapade.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I was really impressed because Amanda, well, we'll talk about this in this episode, it started a new job. We're going to talk about being gay at work and starting a new job and stuff like that. But you are still like on the very tired end of getting used to the new schedule. And so this extra bit of social on the weekend, I know was, not your ideal scenario, if you will.
Not, but once we got there, I had a good time.
But you ended up really like, and then on top of that, being the sober person.
Yeah.
It could have been like you would have been ready to go in an hour, like tugging your ear, like we had a code for when you were ready to leave to like tug your ear. And so then I would know to like wrap up the fun. But also there was always the out of you could drive home, I could take an Uber or whatever. But yeah, you did great. We ended up having a really good time. And like when you were ready to go, I mean, you did end up giving me the ear tug, but I was like for sure winding down.
I knew that it was like time, like the trivia game was winding down. The tug meant a 20-minute time frame.
Yeah,
And-
we had
Yeah.
the ear tug did not mean like I need to go now.
No.
It meant like wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I
Land
felt
the
like
plane.
I felt like I needed to give you an extra buffer too, because hence 3 margaritas.
Yeah, no, you were right. But the ear tug I knew was like, okay, let's put our tables, our whatever, our seat backs in the upright position. Let's
Put your seatbelt on.
Yeah, lock your tables, put out the wheels, whatever. You got a long landing strip, if you will. So I knew to just wrap it up. But anyway, it was really fun. I had a good time. And now I've just officially learned something in this episode already.
Happy to help.
I know. Wow. I feel like maybe you need to point out more things that people consider obvious to me because they may not be obvious to me.
Okay, I'll try.
Learning all the time.
Should we talk about being gay at work?
Yeah, let's get into the topic. Today, we're talking about being gay at work, but in particular, I think we're going to focus on starting a new job. And, everyone knows like day one of a job is stressful enough. And then when you're having to do it, well, you're worried about like, am I being too gay or whatever, or like how gay is too gay for this office, for this company where you don't know it. It adds another layer of something like very difficult that I don't think straight people consider at all.
Totally.
And we're gonna talk extensively about being gay at work, but I think this extends into other minorities and.
I think another thing that would be close to it that's not even necessarily minority, but I think it's like also how women who or people who are mothers or who are parents in general, caregivers, sometimes they feel like they shouldn't reveal it right away because people automatically have a like thought of like what that means if maybe you're not as dedicated because you have something else.
Yeah.
It's
valid.
It's relevant.
It's all that stuff. So I guess we'll start with. I mean, I want you to just tell like your own story and like how things are going. But they're also we have rundowns, you guys.
Oh, we do.
We take this very seriously.
Yeah.
Or at least serious enough to.
I'm gonna look down and check the rundown again.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about because I think we both have an angle on this is when you're starting a new job, being visibly queer, like myself,
or even interviewing for a potential
yes,
job.
or interviewing, whatever, being visibly queer, where it's like, I mean, I like the way I look. I chose this haircut. I like people knowing I'm gay. That's a whole nother episode to talk about how spending too much time in the closet. I want people to know right away now. But then also being where I feel like you're at, which is invisibly queer, where if you want to pass, so to speak, if you want to be perceived as straight, you certainly could choose to do that by not revealing.
Totally.
And so I think that those are really unique. So maybe you just start like from there. You could start about like interviewing since you just went through the process of looking for work and interviewing at multiple places. Like what is your approach when you are interviewing for jobs?
Yeah, and I also want to add the caveat too of like the type of work that I'm in. It's not really a concern for me. Like I think if I was doing a work like this in a more corporate setting or in like a more conservative type sector like finance or law, might be different.
Yeah.
But so I have spent my entire career in nonprofit, mostly in youth and advocacy, and so they tend to be a little bit more like liberal, open-minded, tattoos are cool kind of spaces, and so I don't really have as much of it as a big deal.
Do you think that openness to who, like, an acceptance of who you
Is
are,
how I ended up there?
drew you to that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I almost feel like those spaces that feel more welcoming tend to be like, well, yeah, that's where I want to be. It's where I can be comfortably me.
Absolutely. I mean, and that sort of led me to, so this is just my own personal journey and like what I do because there are things that are important to me that if it's not going to fly, I don't even want to talk to you. So like, I make sure my tattoos are showing, even if it's a Zoom interview, I like will wear something that like if
Are you showing them right now? Can the camera see them? Yeah, get them in.
because like, I talk with my hands.
Just do like this. Hey.
I talk with my hands a lot, and so like making sure that I'm wearing something either it's pushed up or has short sleeves or something because I want you to be able to see it.
Oh, I didn't know that was like a purposeful choice. Because that's your little like I'm gay.
Well, it's also my little like it's just like a personality.
That I'm not buttoned up necessarily.
Yeah. Like I can be buttoned up and I can look like a little corporate person, but if you see my arms, not necessarily.
Yeah, especially those big guns. No? Okay.
But so that's part of it. And then also like, maybe not in the first interview, but somewhere along the way, I will drop in my wife or something like that, just as like a natural part of the conversation. And I know
your way to out yourself.
I know that I'm doing it and I look for tells in them. Like sometimes people will, when they hear it, you can kind of see if they're taken aback a little bit, even if they're trying not to show it.
Oh, right. Just a little face flinch or...
A little face flinch or like they sit back a little.
Oh, interesting.
Sometimes
nonverbal cues.
Sometimes like when you say it, people will give a little like head nod or they'll lean forward a little or they'll smile kind of imperceptibly. Like just, these are things that I know to look for to be like cool, not cool. Or like, is that cool to them? Like, are they like excited about the fact that maybe I look the way that I do, but I have this other identity marker?
Would you say that it's almost like you're giving them a little vibe check? Like, do they pass?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That you're like, this is like your pop quiz. Because, I know a lot of people talk about this, but I don't know how many people do it in practice. When you're interviewing for a position, you're interviewing the company and finding more about the job to see if you're a good fit, just as much as you're trying to prove to them that you would be a good fit.
Absolutely.
So that's like one of your almost like checkpoints. So you purposefully reveal it in the, what would you say, screener, first interview, second interview?
Probably first interview. Screener, not so much, because screener tends to just be like,
skills.
At least when I'm screening people, it tends to be like, if I'm talking to you, you look on paper like you're qualified. I'm vibe checking you. to see like, do you have, from an initial stance, like the right type of experience, and do I feel like you'll fit here culturally? Just from like a quick interview. So I try to like give
Very
that back.
intuitive
Yeah.
type stuff. Okay.
But that's also a honed skill.
Yeah.
So
But
not
I-
everybody has that in a screener.
Yeah. I also think you already sort of mentioned this by the industry you're in that allows you can be like, I'm going to announce this because I need you to, I don't want this to be a hurdle later.
Yeah.
And so if you're not the kind of company that's chill about it, I don't want to work here, and you're lucky enough to be able to do that. Also, I think we live in a place that in Los Angeles that allows us to be picky about that, where it's like, I know I can find a job at a place that allows this and it's going to be cool about it. And so I don't have to mask, as they call it.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into a little bit later, I think. But because we can get into it now, because I feel, so I don't work in nonprofit. I work for a more button. I work in the architecture, engineering, and construction industry, or they call it AEC. And I do marketing for an architecture firm. So essentially, it's like by the nature of the industry, it's a little more, I want to say, traditional.
I would call it like classically conservative.
Yes. And even though it's in Southern California, that does help, but it is still, I find myself, like when I look around, I don't see a lot of visibly queer people at my office. And so I know we've talked about this, but I've gone back and forth between like, how do I want to present myself at work? Obviously I cannot change my haircut, right? And that is a dead giveaway. But we're on video, but I can like play with the part. You guys, if you don't know what I look like, you should be following me on Instagram. So get on that. But I can play with the part. I can play with the way I style it, where it looks almost more like a momish
Pixie cut
versus like the Ellen essentially, or the Maddow as I like to call it because it's brunette. But yeah, I can, and then also like what clothes am I picking to wear?
Yeah.
Right. You can definitely. I identify as more of like a gender, like fluid, like playing with that. And so when I dress normally, I'll go between feminine, masculine, androgynous, whatever. And then at work, I can choose to be like more feminine and give the people what they want.
Well, it's also interesting, I think, too, because even the clothing that you choose at work, in a place that you've been there for a long time, you've been there like 4.5 years.
Oh yeah, and they know I'm gay.
And they know you're gay. They're cool with you being gay. And I feel like you still feel like you have to sort of fit a certain box in the way that you dress at work, which is a privilege that I have that I don't have to do. I can show up at work in whatever style suits me because of this like, different industry that I work in. And
I also think, sorry, I didn't want me to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
I also think it's a product of maybe where we're at in our careers that
true. That's a
you
good point.
You are going into companies as high up, right? You're chief operations officer or you're senior director or whatever the title might be.
I am the leadership.
Yeah, you are leadership. And so I'm in a place where I'm this is a conversation for another day, but I'm trying to grow my career. I want to advance and be promoted. And so when I look around and see what other leaders are wearing, or like the ones I aspire to be, it's like, I need to look like that to be accepted and given that.
You know what's so funny that you say that? I think one of the reasons I do and show up and look the way that I do and like present myself the way that I do at work is to be that person for a younger queer person at work, that like they can look at leadership and see, oh, I'm represented here, and you'd be more accessible in that way. And so that's really interesting that you said that.
And it's not, I mean, there's no handbook that's telling me at my job that I have to do this, right? Sure. So, and I also want to say,
you don't have a dress code like this new freaking company that I started at. Like,
also, I probably should have said this earlier, but like, I am a comedian. I am a comic through and through. If I could, that's all I would be. But I need to, have health insurance, and I need to contribute to my living with my partner, and so I have a salary and health insurance and benefits, and I work a day job that I think allows me the freedom to take only the comedy gigs I want, to be more like selective, and I have a nice balance. In a perfect world, there would be some sort of there would be more payment, and you could live as a creative and really focus on that. But our society is not built that way, so it's not. I can't solve that, but. Comedy gigs don't pay enough to make a living. So for now, and even I get some good gigs, you guys. I'm regularly opening for Jay Leno. So, but it doesn't make a living. So I have this, all this is to say that I'm talking today about my day job, my work as a marketing professional in architecture.
Do you feel like, I know we've talked a little bit and you kind of mentioned it a little bit here. Do you feel like the fact that there's not a lot of other outwardly queer folks at your job affects the way you feel about that company?
Oh, 100%. Yes. I've been back. I mean, you've heard the way I talk about this company where like, I don't want to reveal too much about it. If you dig around, I'm sure you can find it, but like, it's not, they are really good to me. I like working there. I think it's a very like, the culture wise, like the energy, the positivity of the brand itself. And like, I feel like I do match that. And that's why I do well there, is that I do like kind of exert that. But yeah, it's still just architecture, right? I mean, anywhere you work like that is like, gosh, will I be fired for this podcast?
I mean, hopefully they're not going to see it.
No, they'll never listen to it. It's a lot of like old white guys, old straight.
That's
white
the
guys.
kind of the industry, right?
Yeah. So like when it's run by those people, that type, they see the world differently, and so I get subject to some of that, and which is interesting too, because it's architecture, which is seen as more creative, like you're designing things and like it's a more creative pursuit, but yeah, it's still. It's on its way. It's trying. But
it's like the traditional side of the creative world.
Yeah.
It's not like you're like working for, you know, like a press agency or a comms agency or something like that. That tends to be a little bit more like open.
And I will also say, like, I understand that my own biases are at play. I grew up in a time when I didn't know any gay people. There was no representation. And so I'm very used to sort of blending in, masking that part of me when I feel like I need to. And so there's nothing in the handbook, like I said, that says like, you have to dress a certain way or you can't. Like, I just feel like when I look around, I want to, you know, fit in. I want to blend, and I want to be one of us or whatever, so to help me get ahead and move along and get by. And so, you know, I'm doing that to myself. But I do sometimes, I mean, you've seen the wardrobe I have. I have a whole different wardrobe for what I go to work in versus what I would do like social activities or even stand up in.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's just.
Wouldn't it be nice if they could be the same though?
It would be great. But I also think to myself that like lots of people with office jobs have a different wardrobe for work than what they would wear to like a barbecue. Because
I guess that's true.
You're supposed to represent. You're supposed to, you know, look a little nicer when you're working. So, to me, I kind of chalk it up to that, and I try not to take it as a total like rejection of my queerness.
Yeah, totally.
It's you know, and then there's also, I know you've seen some days where I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna wear this and I don't care. So yeah, I think I'm definitely still like learning and growing in that way, and figuring it out, but.
Well, I know I asked you the question of like, do you think that less queer people at your company affects the way you feel about a company?
Oh, that was how all this started.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that is something that really has become important to me over time. Of like, you know, I started my nonprofit career in arts education. Lots of gay folk. I went to gun violence prevention. Not as many necessarily, but like politics and advocacy does tend to have a lean. Also, let's be honest, like nonprofit tends to be highly dominated by women. A lot of white women in leadership, but like it is a female-dominated field, so I already feel more comfortable. Even with straight people, if they're women. I haven't worked with a straight man. This new job is the first time in I don't know how many years. Yeah. And that's a wild experience. But that is something that I think when we talked about when I took this job, I was like, well, I think I kind of caught some hints. I think maybe there are some other gay people like at my level or around it. And I actually think I was wrong. And that has impacted the way I feel about it a little bit, because I feel othered in a way that like, they're very nice people. Don't get me wrong. You know, they're passionate, they're committed, they're very open-minded.
Yeah. You're not upset with them as people.
As people, no. But like, I also like, I like to be in a space that has other queer folks in it. And that's a privilege I have, and it's not something that's hard to find. Yeah. And so it has kind of contributed to the like, is this the right fit for me?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's, all you're saying is that you're feeling like you're not you feel othered. You feel like you don't want to be the odd one out.
Right.
It's interesting to bring that up too, because like and this has been true at other jobs too, but when I first started, and like you're looking around for those gay people. I remember a couple years ago they had a big company party.
Yeah.
And we were at it and we're like, oh, and when they brought everyone in from all over the country, I was like, oh, there are some gay people. It's just I wouldn't have come across them necessarily.
Yeah.
And even there was one or two that I was like, the whole time?
Why didn't you say anything?
Yeah, and also like my gaydar is probably pretty bad, but maybe they thought they were saying something by having their
gaydar-
sleeves out or something.
Your gaydar has not improved in
No. But this is the same company that I remember, and I don't remember the exact wording of it, so I don't want to get it wrong. But essentially, they have all these different clubs. They have like at the company, they have like a book club, so like people will get together and read the books and talk about them or whatever. There's like a running club. There's a golf club.
There's a running club? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. And so when I started, I was like, can we start like our LGBTQ plus club?
Yeah.
And basically they were like, none of our clubs are about identity. So
they were on the no DEI train before that became an
it kind of was like
administration level
right.
mandate.
I was like, I guess it's like they didn't want to like alienate straight people. I was like, straight people could join as allies. But what it was meaningful to me was like, this would be really helpful to find other gay folks at work that I could, that want to be identified, that want to see themselves elsewhere. And it would have like really helped me to feel like, oh, there's other people, and it would have been so great. I mean, and working there, found other gay people that work there, but like the fact that this idea for a club was sort of like rejected in a very corporate.
In HR speak, they don't have room for affinity groups, is what we call them.
Yeah, I think that's probably the wording they used too, but I just didn't remember it. And so it was just sort of like, oh, well, like I get it from, like, I'm a mature enough individual where I can understand it from a, like, reasoning from the HR perspective or whatever. But there was another part of me that was like, this just feels like you don't want us to, like, it feels like almost like reverse discrimination. Like you're telling me.
It does say, like, if you had known that going in, I probably would have warned you off the job, because like culturally there's some, like, it's kind of problematic, mostly around race, that like good companies with good equity policies have affinity groups for people of various identities, specifically like Black folks at work or Latino people at work or whatever, because it creates community in a way that's welcome. And them having that sort of like no affinity group marker says to me, like, we don't want people getting together to collectively come at us.
I don't know if that's, this makes me want to go check my handbook, because I don't know if that's like the wording they actually used or the policy, but I remember it being like, no, and being like, well, that's, because I thought it was like, this is the thing that's missing. I have a great idea.
Yeah.
And then being like, oh no, I was like, oh, shoot. So that's interesting. Maybe it's a conversation for another time offline. but it is interesting.
Yeah.
And then so I wanted to talk about this next like point. We thankfully don't have to deal with it, but I know balancing sort of your authentic self and bringing that versus safety for the queer community is definitely a factor. Mm-hmm. So like when you're deciding to come out at all or how out to be, thankfully we've never had to deal with it as a safety concern, but I know that is a very real issue. And so I just want to say, if that is where you're at, like, there is no shame in doing what you need to do to make a living and, you know, being your full true self elsewhere.
Yeah, not everybody has the opportunity to be able to be who they are at work. You know, like maybe
decide that because I can't be, I'm not going to work here.
Yeah, like maybe you just need this job. Yeah. Like you got to do you.
Yes. So we're talking about this in Los Angeles as to like white presenting women, higher level, higher experience, education wise. Yeah. So I wanted to just like check that we understand our privilege in coming at it from this angle.
Absolutely.
And so like do what you got to do. But also I'm just having this conversation. I do want to like open the floor. Like I would love to hear if you've ever started a new job and you were the only queer in the room. Like tell me stories about it. Tell me, did you stay there? Did you leave? Did you find somebody else? Did you make a little club? Did you make a side club that's not an official club?
Yeah. Did you take it to a group chat?
Yeah. Did you leave a trail of Skittles back to your did you like, oh, have you come to taste the rainbow? Like, like a little gay troll underneath your desk in your cubicle. No, I'm sorry. That's just how I would have done it. But yeah, I would love to hear stories about like what you've been through, good, bad, whatever. You can DM me at Kaycee Conlee or respond. I'm going to probably put a poll. We'll do our poll for what's gayer like we do every week. That's coming up, by the way. We haven't. That's a regular segment. So yeah, hit me up with your stories about being queer at work. We'd love to hear them. Do you have? We're not done talking about this. I just thought that was a good opportunity to ask about it. But I also want to talk about, because this is wife support.
Oh.
And it's rooted in the fact that we have each other. I want to talk about also like how your, whether it be marriage or friendships or family or whatever, chosen family, how your support system like helps you stay grounded during transitions in particular. So I know we've kind of gotten into just like the job itself. So maybe it's a future episode we talk about starting a new one or whatever. But
so the question is more about like how your queer community, be it at home or outside of the home, supports you in a work transition.
Yeah, or in just your job, your career at all. Because I know we talked about this, I guess, a little bit on the episode about codependency, which I don't know if the order we're going to put these out in yet, but if it's
Well, it
first,
sounds
and
like
was
this
last
is
week,
coming after that one.
It might be, yeah. But like when I decided to start stand-up, we'd already been together for a little while, and then I was like, hey, by the way, I want to be a comedian. You were like, okay. But without knowing really what that was gonna mean or how that was gonna change our relationship dynamic, you were supportive from day one. And in fact, I can recall when I finally really did it. 2015 is when I took a class and started doing it regularly. I had dabbled with like an open mic or two before in the years before. You were like, finally.
Yeah,
I remember being
that.
like, you keep talking about this. Yes, do it. Just do it. And being like, oh, wow. Like, not only does she support me, she's like, get off of your ass. She wants me to, yeah. So I just remember being just that sort of, not to reference like the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing, but like the way that he supports her. Everyone's been talking about how amazing it is to see this guy who's like secure in his masculinity to support a, quite frankly, more successful woman. Having a support system that's like just always like got your back and in your corner is so huge. And whoever that is, I'm lucky enough to have it in my wife and best friend, but like, yeah, wherever it is, it's really important. And then I think on the flip side of that, a few years back when you took a job that was like a huge jump in your career.
Yeah, it was an opportunity that, we had sort of been looking to maybe move closer to family. And so I had, knowing I was ready for a career change, to move up, I broadened the scope, and I found something in Florida that was both a career climb and closer to family. But
and quickly, let me just pause on Florida. That's right. We were living in LA, Los Angeles,
Yeah.
California, and thinking maybe somewhere back east to buy a home, try being closer to family, which we both missed a lot and felt like we weren't seeing enough. And so it was sort of out there anyway, which is why you had applied for the job. But then getting it and doing it was
making the decision of like, okay, we're going to uproot our lives that we're very comfortable. We have like a really great life here, and move to a place where we don't really know anyone outside of your one little subset of family, and like start over completely and in our 30s, tough.
And also me thinking, a huge bonus of it was that this was a great job opportunity for you.
Yeah.
And it was my sister who we were going to be close to. But also I was, and I don't know if I ever even voiced this to you, but I was so scared because I was like, I'm going to Florida. I'm a comedian and I live in Los Angeles.
I think we talked about that.
Yeah. And I told myself, which I think it ended up working out great. But I told myself basically that I was like, it's not going to hurt to try it.
No.
Right? Like figure it out. My thought going in, which is kind of how it worked out, was that I was like, you'll be a big fish in a small pond.
And that is what happened.
It really was.
You really honed your skill there because you had more stage time, because you were like so much better than everybody else.
Well, that's really sweet. But yeah, it was scary though, because I felt like, am I basically giving up on this dream by moving to Florida? And I had to like make a concerted effort, as any comedian knows, or any place really. You have to like really put yourself out there in the beginning, and it's hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ended up, I was just like, support this woman I love. And I think a part of it was that you had moved to LA for me we were long distance for a while. You moved to LA for me, and so I was like, this is my chance to like show her back what she means to me, and we'll figure. And like, this life is an adventure. Let's just journey this together and figure it out.
Which is so funny too, because like while you had that going on, I also had the like, I know this is for my career. This is an organization I'd really love to work for, and it fits perfectly with this skill that I bring to the table. And I don't like Florida. I never have liked Florida. Like anybody who knows me, like I need to be near the mountains. I don't like to be hot. Like, you know, I was worried about queer community. I'm very shy. And so the idea of having to make like a whole new friend group was really daunting to me.
Yeah.
You know, and so like.
You were scared
I think
too.
we were both scared.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, it worked out for us in the long run. I mean, that job catapulted me into the next one, and like, you know what I mean? And then
we got back, we moved back, we made our way.
I feel like you gained a like really incredible friendship with your sister that you wouldn't have had before, and the tightness we have with the kids, our niece and nephew, because of that move. I
wouldn't change it.
No, I wouldn't change it either. And probably that's because we ended up back here in our home.
Yeah. It all worked out.
But I mean, I think also like the way I'm having a tough work transition right now. There's a lot of things involved in it. I'm starting a new job. That's always hard, but there's other elements at play here. And I feel like even Friday, I had a work from home day, blessedly. And we were sitting down, we were just like having a quick lunch together. And you said to me, hey, can we have a really honest conversation about something? And I was like, oh dear. Sure. And you just called out to me and you put a mirror in front of my face that like, hey, I know it's early and you're still struggling through a little bit and it'll take time, and you're not happy. And I feel like maybe you need the door open to say that to me, and it's okay to make a change.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just like burst into tears because I felt so seen. And I was just like, I'm not the type, like my parents raised me the same way yours did, of like, you commit to something and you do it and you follow through. And like having your support to be like, if this ain't the thing, girl, was like, so are you crying?
No. No, maybe a little misty, but we have this, I think Kendall is the one that coined this. We have this saying in our friend group that when we see each other, like not at our full brightness or whatever, our full energy, our full selves, we'll say like, your lights are low. Mm-hmm. Like, are you okay? How's your spirit? Like, and lights are low is sort of like, that was where I was at. I was like, after having a pretty prototypical week that we had, where we had a little bit of time together, I had some comedy things, whatever, and just having spent the time with you and seeing you, I was like, you are not you. And I did try to give it time, like, because I probably could have said something like Tuesday night, but I was like, let me just, she's in it. And then so Friday rolled around and I was like, no, it's time to talk about this. And because your lights have been low, and I know you, and I'm like, there's a difference between getting into a routine and just struggling through or muddling through. Because when you're just adapting to when you start a new job, there's a transition. I like to think of it as like literally conditioning, like the way you like physically condition to a new routine and a new schedule. Your body sort of has to absorb, this is the time I get up now, this is my routine in the morning, this is how, like, your body has to get used to that social level. I'm in front of people.
Well, and it's mentally challenging too, because it's like information overload.
Yes, it's mental and physical conditioning of a new routine. So every new job starts with that. But some of the markers are like, as you go through, it gets lighter and lighter and it gets easier and easier. And I'm just like, this is week 3, 4, and I'm like, I'm not seeing the improvement. I'm seeing you sort of ride this roller coaster of, she's up because she's just having a mental day where she's able to like coach herself through it. But then she's back down when she like loses the energy for that. Mm-hmm. And I was just concerned. So I need you to know I was in your corner.
I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And it gave me the confidence to make some decisions for myself, and like, it was like, you were backing me that like whatever I decide is the right thing, trust your instincts.
100%. I still feel that way too. I'll always feel that way. You have very good instincts. And knowledge, apparently, teaching me about Lambda. Who freaking knew? Well, I guess everybody knew is the truth, but okay, I think we're wrapped up on that now that I've cried.
Well. Is that the marker of a good episode? We make Kaycee
cry.
No,
I don't think that should be a marker.
You're also an easy cry.
Wow. okay. I mean, you're not wrong.
How many
but
times?
to feel called
how many
out
times
about
in the morning do I see you sitting over there scrolling through Instagram, and I'm like, "Are you crying?" And it's 6 o'clock in the morning,
yeah, and it's usually a dog video
or a sports story.
oh, those will get me. But sometimes you need a good cry. Yeah. Or sometimes we'll be like, I'm just waiting for you to leave somewhere, and I'll have opened Instagram, and you're like, you ready? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I'm an easy
Like I
cry.
said, easy
That's
cry.
fair. Okay, it's time for our favorite segment. We're gonna lighten things up with a little what's gayer? 2 options, 1 winner, 0 heterosexuals. Maybe my favorite part of the game. Okay, today's face-off, all right? What is gayer? Asking for time off from work to go to Pride? Or maybe post-Pride?
Oh, because you're like hungover from the
Yes,
Pride Parade? Okay.
Yes, asking for time off from work because of Pride. Or bringing your lunch to work in an REI tote. What's gayer, baby?
Okay.
What do you think?
I mean, pride is inherent, so I want to go that, except that we have, pride these days is very over-marketed, and like there's so many straight folks at Pride.
Yeah, and it's like, there's plenty of people that tie one on and then, they just go to like,
Yeah,
need
do
a
you
day
remember
off
all of
or
our days
whatever.
going to the parade in West Hollywood, and then we would go do a boozy brunch at Kitchen 24?
Yes.
Just
Yes,
hammered. Oh, our 20s.
I know. But your lunch in an REI tote, like I feel like, by the way, if I may, just to call back what we talked about, the choice of an REI tote for your lunch would be a way to be like, wink, like let everybody know.
Okay, what kind of tote? Are we talking like grocery bag? Are we talking like duffel bag? Are we talking like
Wait, duffel bag, how much fruit are you bringing?
are we talking like little backpack? Like hiking backpack?
In my mind, I was literally just thinking like a tote, like a shopping bag.
Okay, then I definitely think
It's the Pride thing.
lots of people, because you can't use plastic bags anymore, lots of people just have tote bags. And
Yeah,
maybe
but
they got it
REI
as a gift.
specifically?
Yeah, maybe they got it as a gift though. There's plenty of crunchy granola outdoorsy people who are not gay.
I almost feel like this is boiling down to what's gayer, REI or Pride. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think the fact that we made it Pride just kind of skews it hard.
It's not. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you think Pride? What do you guys think? This is really a close one, I think. So vote on my Instagram story. I'm at Kaycee Conlee. Tell us what you think is gayer. And also, I would love to hear your most gay first week at work move. Is that your move? Did I steal? Is it bringing an REI tote? Is it instead of a briefcase you have just like a hiking backpack with your computer in it? That's pretty gay.
Or is it something as simple as a rainbow on your water bottle?
Oh, very nice. That would be a great one. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, tell us what you're doing to wink at your gay friends at work. Yeah. So thanks for listening or watching. And I'm Kaycee Conlee. Follow me at Kaycee Conlee.
And I'm Amanda Conlee, and this was really fun. Thanks for listening to Wife Support.